Yo, what is up? Let's take a look at a note-taking app that should help you and me organize our thoughts better. It's called Obsidian. Let's check it out. So, for the quick high-level overview, I am new to Obsidian, disclaimer, just to say, but I find it to be a nice note-taking app to organize various notes for a given topic to see how these notes in the given topic are connected, and maybe you can find new trends that you would normally not be able to visually. And another feature that will be appreciated is all the files are markdown files, so Obsidian doesn't handle any creation of file types or anything like that. You create markdown files, you put them in a folder, and Obsidian does the organization on its own back end of having some folders be vaults, and you can have folders inside the folders, and the way that you stylize your markdown will be interpreted by the Obsidian application. But all the files are straight up markdown. And if you're saying, whoa, what is markdown? How am I going to use Obsidian if I don't know what markdown is? Don't worry about it. Markdown, super simple markup language, similar to HTML in its simplicity and some of the syntax, or at least I think, pretty much one-to-one with the features of HTML and Markdown visually. You're not going to be able to get, some of the including JavaScript and stuff like that so it runs in a browser. It's simply for text, and it allows you to use this syntax to format the text in certain ways. I'll post some helpful links on getting started with Markdown, but trust me, it's super simple, and you can always ask ChatGPT to reformat your document in proper Markdown syntax if you so please. But be aware, model collapse is happening with ChatGPT. Obsidian install coming up next, and the install is pain-free. So, first thing you want to do is head to the Obsidian page. It's obsidian.md. I'll put a link in the description, don't worry about it. And if you're on Linux, it's an app image, which is just a download that you can click on. Kind of easy, but ugly. So that would be my only complaint. And you kind of end up with a kind of a weird looking setting link that nobody likes. But it's pretty easy to install, pretty easy to find. Let's take a look inside. So if you have installed the application for the first time, you should see a screen similar to this, except you won't have any vaults on the side here. There may be some other information or something like that. But first thing you want to do is create a new vault. You can create a new vault from scratch here, and it will just create a folder, because vaults are folders, just the main folder for the given topic. And that will be wherever you want it to be. You click create, it'll have it where you want when you browse, and you can put it wherever pleases you. Or if you have a folder with a bunch of Markdown files in it already, and maybe you're already using Markdown, maybe you have a different application where you imported the notes locally and you've converted them to Markdown, or they already were Markdown, you can open up a current folder as a vault. All right, so we got our vault opened up. This is a vault that I have on GitHub. I posted a short about it earlier in the week. I am trying to organize my music knowledge, which is very sparse at the moment. I noticed about a year ago that I don't have much experience with music in general, so I am trying to expand my musical horizon. So here's a page I created for Aphex Twin, and you can see I don't know how well this will show up for you, but the dark purple are links that don't exist, and the lighter purple are links that do exist. And then we can return to the graph view and see that the light or white nodes are the pages or links that do exist, and the dark gray nodes are the ones that don't exist. And what that allows me to do is when I'm looking at this graph view, I can maybe go to Jazz Fusion and see that I haven't really looked into amplifiers, bass guitars, keyboards, and the relation to Jazz Fusion. And those are probably related to a whole bunch of other genres. So maybe once I make this page, I'll have a bunch of other links linking this to other places, and we can see where Jazz Fusion is more closely aligned. So amplifiers, bass guitar, keyboards, electric guitars, maybe that'll be closer to rock than it would be to perhaps folk songs, which I don't have a page for, but you see what I'm saying. You'll have something that'll show a nice mapping. So I got jazz, rock, and punk here all on this side, and on the other side I have some artists that are related to electronic music and maybe trance or whatever you want to call it. I got Aphex Twin, Dead Mouse, Mouse Trap, the record label. So you can kind of see how you can see what you know and what you don't know, and if you want to know something, it's pretty easy to click on it and look into it. Whereas normally it's kind of hard to know what to look up and what maybe to look into. So on any given day, I might just be like, hey, we're gonna listen to Elvis Presley today. Let's check it out. Click it, create it, get it done. And very quickly, let's just take a look at how to use this thing. Super easy. So you already know how to create a vault, and I'll just go ahead and make a test one. We'll call it test, and we'll just put it in the place where I put everything in this Obsidian folder. I think that's pretty nice. So we'll put it there, we'll go ahead and create it, and now we have a new vault that is completely empty. And we can go to the File Explorer, head over to Documents where I put it, and you'll see that this folder was created. Test. And nothing in it. So we can open this in Terminal, and we have two options. We can create a new file here like we normally would, gedit test first.md. We can go ahead and do that, and it's going to open up this test file, and I'll say this should show up in Obsidian. Don't know how to spell that. Go ahead and save it, and there you go. It shows up right there. And it should show up right here as it does. So that's one way, or you can hit Control-N, and that'll make a new untitled file, and we'll call this test second, and there you go. Or you can Control-O, and this will allow you to find or create a note, which may be useful if you are not sure if you've had the note created or not. Generally though, since I'm using linking, I do not need to find notes as often as I might have expected I would, but this is one way to do that, and we can just go test third here. And you can also use this button here to search, which is very powerful, similar to VS Code in that it will search every file in the vault, so you can find anything. I put a period here, and you see there's 3 periods here. It found every period in the vault. A space, it doesn't get back anything because I haven't typed anything with a space. So that is how you create notes, and that is how you search notes. Generally, those are the only 2 things you need other than linking, which is super simple. To link, you simply highlight the word and surround it with brackets, double brackets. And there you go, there's a link. And you control click it to open the link up, and you'll see that when you open a link that doesn't exist, it creates a new markdown file as previously specified. So that's basically all you need to know. Creating files and creating links, and then opening the graph view to see how they're connected. And you can see we have the one link, and that's about it. And you can have some filters here for tags, which don't exist, but those are not really necessary. You really just need to make links and make files. Fortunately, it's not a perfect system. There are a couple things that could be improved. First complaint, not really sure if this is a valid complaint because it is a pretty well-packaged service that they're providing for free, but there are a lot of well-packaged services that get provided for free, so it's not an anomaly. But $8 a month just to be able to sync your notes across all of your devices does seem to be a little bit expensive, but the alternative, using a version control software or maybe even Google Docs and just uploading the MD files, works just fine and is easy enough. But that's complaint number 1. Next, linking. So to create a link, I actually have a short key, but you add double brackets, and that creates a link to a page that may or may not exist. And if it doesn't exist, opening the link will create a new markdown file titled the link name. But since it's titled the link name, you can only link the word for word name of the file. So I'll delete this link because I don't need it. But as I mentioned before, Eurasia, this is an album. I generally like to name my albums with the date afterwards, so it kind of distinguishes itself from a song or an artist. But this piece of text doesn't have the date after the album name. And actually this whole thing should be highlighted. So I'm stuck with making the decision to either change the text here or change the link name, which is pretty darn annoying, especially for record labels, because a lot of times when record labels are mentioned, the full name isn't provided. So Polydor Records, a lot of times maybe we'll just see Polydor, maybe it'll be initial PR. Same with Apollo Records. So when I'm linking, I have to change it to the actual full link name, which is very annoying. I'd say this is the biggest Obsidian problem I've noticed on my short time using it. So what I have done is sometimes I'll create 2 pages, and one page will just link to the actual page that I meant it to. And I'll keep the tag the same so that they are linked in the graph view a little bit nicer than they would be otherwise. EDM, electronic dance music, a lot of times you'll just see EDM or you'll just see electronic dance music. So I just created an EDM page, which is the actual page, and then an electronic dance music page, which I see less than EDM, as a page that links to the original EDM page. So those are the 2 complaints, and there's pretty easy workarounds. Other than that, I don't know if I have only been using this for about a week. So all in all, I think it's pretty awesome. I really appreciate it if you guys got on the GitHub, added your own music knowledge. That'd be really awesome. There's a lot to learn here, and there's a lot of fun stuff to get at. Just a quick look at an application that I think will help out in my schooling and knowledge career.